Hi, my name is Erika and I'm a senior solutions engineer at a top e-commerce tech company. Today I wanted to talk to you about discovery questions that nobody asks. I want to cover what should be done in a discovery, what are the main areas that you should explore during a discovery session. And then I wanted to tell you my favorite questions that I don't see many people asking. So let's get started. There are broadly nine key areas that should be covered during the discovery. The first is understanding the compelling event. So this is the why. So if you cannot answer why a prospect should uh, change something in the process and why they're looking at this problem right now, then there's really nothing to sell. So this should be your number one goal. Number two is the understanding the business driver. So this means understanding the priorities of your prospects. So in this project that they are envisioning in their head, what are the top goals and the top kind of success criteria of this project, of this business change. Third is understanding the current state. So implementing a new software always starts from somewhere and involves change, changing habits, changing processes. So the first thing would be understanding where your prospect is coming from, so how they're doing things today, and then what's not working, but also what's working in this process. Fourth, looking at the desired state. So going from where they are now to this ideal future state and really understanding what are their hopes and aspirations. Five, the decision making. So this is how is the decision going to be made, who is going to be involved, what is the time frame. Six, what is the budget and what is the ROI? So how much money can they spend on this solution, but also what are the KPIs that they're looking to move the needle on. Seven, understanding the tech stack and understanding what is going to be integrated in this solution and what is the future vision for that tech stack that they're looking to implement. Number eight, risk and compliance. So this is always an area that is going to be present in every project. With every project comes risk. So understanding what are the risks, understanding what are the roadblocks that may come in their way, any mandatory standards, any rules, legal rules. And then finally, understanding the market environment. So what are some external factors? What is the competition? What are the market conditions that are affecting the prospect? Okay, after this intro, let's get started with the discovery questions. So, first of all, understanding the compelling event, and the question I like to ask is, why haven't you implemented a similar solution yet? So this is really to understand, okay, well, if they've wanted to do this for a while and they know what is the ultimate goal, why hasn't this been done yet? And this is really to understand kind of the urgency and the impact. So the prospect may say, oh, we haven't done this yet because every time we want to change something in our software, it requires the help of developers, and we have 500 tickets waiting to be done, and so we can never launch initiatives on time. So here you really understand what are the problems that they're trying to face. They're slow, they cannot innovate, their team cannot do anything without the need for developers. So you start to get a picture of what are the pain points and also how can your solution come in. Follow-up questions may be, what is different now than from a year ago? So what changed in your organization? And also, who prevented you from doing so, which is what we covered. Now, next, understanding the business drivers. And here, the question I like to ask is, what are the top 3 goals that you want to achieve in this initiative? So this is really a very direct question, asking them, okay, what are the priorities of this project? And if there is anything that doesn't fall into the priority, really you shouldn't focus too much on it in the beginning, but also really understanding what are the success criteria. And you can really insert this in your pitch and make sure that you tackle every single one of them and that your solution respond and solves these 3 objectives that they have in the project. Next, to understand the current state, there are a lot of people ask about process, or how are things done today, what are the challenges you have. But I actually think that it's even better to ask, what is the positive impact of having this problem today? Or better, you can ask this differently, what's working in this process today, right? I also like to ask this counter question because it also gives an indication on what things are working well, not just what's not working. And why it's important, because your solution is to make sure that it keeps the same level or overachieves on these aspects that are working well. So not just focus on the problems and the challenges, but also focus on what's working well. Desired state. Here is really about making them imagine what that future would look like. And what I like to ask is, imagine a miracle, all restrictions were gone. What would your world look like? So this is really to understand, let them open up a little bit. Sometimes prospects are really stuck in their way they're doing things today, and they cannot even imagine a different world, something, a way of doing things differently. So they try to get these marginal gains, but they don't really open up and imagine the world if it actually was good, especially if they've been stuck in the same problems for a lot of years. So yeah, it's an opening question. You want to get as many broad answers as possible, and it really clarifies on what are their priorities, their wishes, what really matters, and what really, really would move the needle with this project. Next area is around the decision-making process and how they're gonna evaluate your platform or your solution. And what I think not a lot of people are asking, it's a bit of a cheeky question, is to which vendors are you talking to? And I really like this one because you're directly asking them about who is your competition. And you may think that vendors are not open to talk about this, but you'll find that a lot of time they're actually quite open with sharing, yeah, we're talking with X solution, or maybe they won't mention the name, but they will tell you something about that solution. And it's a tricky one. I think you have to have a good rapport with the customer, but it will definitely help you qualify this opportunity. So if they tell you a competitor that is not one of your main competitors, then this should ring a little bit of an alarm bell, because that means that probably what they're looking for is not your solution, but is something completely different. But also it can help you in your pitch, identifying opportunities and really areas where you can shine. And yeah, always use your champion for this type of questions. Next up, budget and ROI. And here the goal is understanding the KPIs that they're looking at. So the question is, in which areas would you save time and money? So this is really a variation of what are the main KPIs you're looking to improve, what is your measure of success, but it's a little bit broader. So it gives them space also to really look at processes and what are the impact areas. So what are the areas that they're looking to make an impact, and really it will make you understand how your solution can impact different areas of their business. The follow-up question would be, how much time and money could you save if you did this, if your world looked like this, which is going towards that desired state. Next up, tech stack. And again, I think often the tech stack comes up quite naturally in the process. The prospect may tell you, okay, this is the technology, these are the technologies we use, this is other tools that we're using and are relevant for this project. But I would personally ask directly what needs to be integrated and why. And this is really, the goal is understanding whether there is a more efficient approach. Because sometimes they have a set of tools, they've been using them for a while, and they just think, yeah, we need to keep them. But sometimes maybe your solution can solve some of these problems that they've solved with other tools. So there is a further impact in terms of making the tech stack more efficient, making it more compact and more lean, and again, really identifying some areas for improvement. But also, it's important because you definitely do not want to miss a specific solution that needs to be integrated. And sometimes the client would forget and would not tell you every single thing that needs to be integrated. They would just tell you the main ones. But it's a very risky thing if you don't catch these things during the evaluation process, because they will create pain and problems later on. So follow-up questions may be, is this really necessary? Can this be made redundant, made automated, or can this be done with our solution? Risk and compliance. And okay, there are other questions around kind of legal and understanding the market requirements, but really the one I like to ask is, what will happen if you do nothing? This is really trying to hone in the cost of inaction, right? So, and this is to avoid the client ghosting you, to avoid the client postponing this project, trying to understand where they're at and what would happen if they didn't move, what would they lose? So love this question, ask it more often. And finally, understanding the market environment. Again, this is the question I don't see asked very often, and it's understanding who are the competitors of the client. So how is your competition dealing with this problem? So this is to understand how they're thinking about solving the problem, but also who are their competitors. And why I like to ask this question is because if you understand what are your competitors and the ones that they look up to, you also understand what is the desired state. So you may go on the website or on the solution, look at the solution of their competitors and understand what are they doing better, what are they doing well, why this is a competitor of them. It makes you understand the industry better, it makes you understand the desired solution better, and also creates some peer pressure, right? There are some competitors that are ahead of you, so you need to make a move and solve this problem now. Follow-up questions may be, what is your competitive differentiator? So how are you different than your competitor? And also, how is your competition using technology, this specific technology, as a competitive advantage? A variation of that would be, what are they doing better than you? What are areas that you think they are excelling into that you'd like to bring in your business? So that is it. These are my top questions that nobody asks. I hope this video was useful and it prompts you to be a little bit more creative in your discovery process. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover. I go live every single morning talking about a topic in pre-sales. So let me know in the comments below what next topics you'd like me to touch. Have a great day.